Welcome to our Learning Launchpad's O-Week session. This is the second session in your O-Week journey. And to let you guys know, I am recording today's session and it will be sent out to your student cohort at the end of this week for anyone who was unable to attend the sessions to catch up on. So a quick reminder of our expectations for our virtual sessions as we go through today. So I love to see those cameras on. Let's have them on and be prepared for a little bit of participation. There's going to be some great tips along the way. So I do recommend to make sure you have somewhere to write down some notes as we go along. Also today, when you have any questions, please pop them in the chat and we'll check in with them along the way. There is going to be a lot of me talking as I show you things, but remember, we're all in this together and hopefully we do have a bit of fun. All right, let's just let those last few people in. So let's check in with our O-Week roadmap. So yesterday we had the takeoff session, and if you were able to attend that one, you would have had a chance to meet some of your student cohort, and some of our Travel Academy team members were there as well to help support you guys. And today's Learning Launchpad session is all the must-knows that you will need to succeed in your diploma studies. So I didn't introduce myself at the very beginning, but my name is Kim. I'm one of your facilitators, and you guys will meet me when you're studying successful sales techniques in semester one. If you are studying full-time, that will be one of your first 4 subjects. If you're only doing part-time, it'll probably be a second semester. I've been with the Travel Academy for a bit over 18 months now, and with Flight Centre for coming up on 12 years now. I started out back in the day and actually went through the Travel Academy myself, and then worked as a travel agent with Flight Centre for the first couple of years of my career before moving on to be an emergency travel consultant. Working to sort of solve problems is definitely one of my sort of favorite skills that I love to apply into a job. And then I came across to the Travel Academy at the start of last year, which has been a really great chance to kind of come full circle and help you guys as students on your journey to get into the travel and tourism industry. And joining me today, from the facilitation team as well, we also have Darren. Some of you might have met him yesterday, but I'll hand over to Darren just for a moment.
Hi everyone, and welcome to today's session. So just like Kim, I started out doing my diploma of travel many years ago. I've then had a 26-year career in the travel industry, working across different roles, everything from retail travel agent through to corporate travel agent. But I spent a huge amount of my career in the airline industry. So doing everything from working in the airlines reservations, answering the phones, through to a number of different roles at the airport, everything from check-in to working at the boarding gate, lost baggage in the lounge, dispatching aircraft, all those sorts of fun things. And then the bulk of my time with the airlines was spent in the role of flight attendant, where I was lucky enough to travel all over Australia and the world, pouring tea and coffee and having a great time getting paid to travel. So if you do have any questions about any of those types of roles as you go through your diploma, I'm happy to have a chat. But you'll mainly see me in your final semester in the INF subject, where you'll actually get to do a work experience placement. So I look forward to teaching or talking to you all about that in the future. Thanks, Kim.
Thanks, Darren. And yeah, as mentioned, we're both part of the facilitation team, and our team is here to support you with everything related to your studies. So we will work with you in tutorials, assessments. We do Q&As for the assessments. We offer one-on-one coaching call support as you're going along. If you sort of need a hand with understanding the content, understanding assessments and things like that, we very much encourage you to take up that option to book in for coaching calls. And we do grade and provide feedback on your assessments as well. So yesterday in the first O-Week session, we talked about how many years our years experience the Flight Centre Travel Academy support teams have in the travel and tourism industry. I'm wondering if anyone can remember how many years that was. If you can pop it in the chat, or if you want to just raise your hand, if anyone can remember the number. Anaru, did you have the number in your head?
Was it 427 years?
Ding, ding, ding. Great job. Great memory. Exceptional. Yeah, absolutely. We do across all of our teams in the Travel Academy have 427 years of experience. Within our facilitation team, we have over 205 years of experience in the industry across a variety of sectors and roles. Just like Darren mentioned, he's definitely covered a few different sectors himself. And we're all really passionate about helping you guys succeed in your studies. So do please reach out to us whenever you have questions, if you need help or you just need help starting or getting back on track. We, understand all of those different elements of studying. So we're here to support you guys.
All right, so yesterday we went over some fun features in Teams that you'll be using. So you would have seen those if you attended yesterday. I'll remind you of a few of those now. And if you were unable to attend yesterday, this could be your first look at some features that you will use regularly when attending live events. So if you have a look at the top of the screen, you will see a chat bubble, which we will use on a regular basis. You will see the raise a hand. So I'm just going to raise my hand there so you can all see what that looks like. So if at any time there's something that you'd like to come off mute and say, you can raise your hand. They're numbered in order of you raising your hand, so please leave your hand raised and we will check in with you throughout the session. If you click on the raise hand once you've spoken, it will lower your hand. Then you will see the react, and this is where all of the emojis hide. We do love seeing those emojis, and they're a fun way of interacting. So let's click on your favorite emoji right now to make sure it's all working. Mine is always the love heart. And we've got a few surprise faces there. It's a bit of a cross-section of emojis. All right, so throughout the session, feel free to react and show us what you love, agree with, or you're surprised about. Back to you, Kim.
Thanks, Darren. So yeah, you guys have started a very exciting time in your career and you're one step closer to working in the industry that I love, and I know you guys will love too. Throughout your studies, you will feel like you might be on a bit of a roller coaster. There will be some highs and some lows. We've all been there. In fact, many of our facilitation team have either just finished studying or are currently studying with Torrens and have learned a few things they can share with you, and how to stay on track and have an enjoyable experience. So let's have a look at the diploma and the commitment you guys have just embarked on. So our Diploma of Travel and Tourism is an online course. It's a mix of live and recorded sessions. On completion, you will have completed 8 subjects, and each subject is broken down into 6 modules per subject. And this is a combination of lectures and tutorials that occur throughout each module. And so while you are studying, what you would be aiming for is to allocate about 4 to 5 hours per subject per week. So it's about 20 to 25 hours per week if you're studying full-time, and about 10 hours per week if you're studying part-time. And then each subject that you've signed up for will have 3 to 4 assessments per subject. And the assessments are a mix of essays, live role plays with a facilitator, quizzes, case studies, or like recorded presentation style assessments. So before we jump into our learning platform, we want to talk about the workflow for you to follow to help you guys stay on top of your studies. So this is the recommended approach for working through the content in every module to make sure you are staying on top of everything and you're ready for your tutorials and your assessments. The workflow and how you approach things is the same for every module in every subject. This is very much a one-size-fits-all approach. This information can also be found at the bottom of your welcome announcement in MyLearn, so you will always be able to reference back to it. But please feel free to take a screenshot of what's on the screen now, or write it down. And I'm going to go into more detail with you all shortly when I demonstrate in MyLearn, but I'll just speak through those steps quickly with you now. So the first one there, watching a pre-recorded lecture. So as the name says, they are pre-recorded. The lectures, they're already loaded up for you. They range from about 30 minutes to an hour, so make sure you've allocated that time. The lectures are the theory part of the module, and it is recommended to watch these prior to attending the tutorials. We then recommend to look through the resources and the bonus information in that module. Different subjects and programs have different information, and we all like to consume information in different ways. We know some people like videos, some people like to read articles, so make sure you have a bit of a flick through and know what's there and have a look at it, and definitely what appeals to you. There should be a bit of a variety. And then hopefully you can attend some tutorials. Otherwise, you can watch the recordings of them after they've occurred. So we do love it if you can join in with us, and we encourage you to attend as many tutorials as possible. These are that practical side of it, the practical sessions where you'll work with your peers and facilitators on the content. And if you are unable to attend, as I said, they are recorded for you to watch later. And then you should always be making sure you have a good read over the assessment briefs, and also watch the assessment overview videos that live alongside the briefs. So they're two resources that work hand in hand to explain your assessment tasks. We then offer assessment Q&A sessions, and that's a chance for you guys to clarify anything about your task instructions, your approach to the task. If you've started a bit of a draft and you want to, check in that you're on the right pathway, you can sort of ask us questions relating to the assessment. And then there is also that opportunity to book those one-on-one coaching calls that we mentioned before. It is an optional extra support if you need it. It is one-on-one time with your facilitator that you book in, and it's a Teams meeting, sort of just like this. And we ask that you come prepared with your questions, having a bit of a look over the content and things before you sort of come along to those coaching calls, so we can get the most out of them with you. As you're working on your assessments, you do have the option to submit your drafts through a program called BrainFuse, and it is used to support your academic writing. So you will submit your assessment through BrainFuse, and what happens is they provide you some feedback to do with like your spelling, grammar, and writing. It's just important to remember that it's not specific to your assessment and the brief itself. So it'll give you more of that feedback on that structure, the grammar, just not the specific content. And you will find that in MyLearn through the Class for Success tile. Once you've kind of got that back and make any updates that you want to make to your work, you then need to submit your work through Turnitin, and that will check your submission for like a plagiarism score, and we will chat about that a bit more today. And then finally, once you're happy with everything there, you want to submit your work for grading, and you need to do that by the advised due date for the assessment. And make sure you check the times on the assessment brief to see what time zone it's in. And we then, once you've sort of submitted the work, we have like a 10-day turnaround for you to then be able to receive your grade back, and make sure you're reading the feedback when you do get your grade released. And you repeat that for, each module, each assessment for all of your diploma subjects, and then you're done. Easy, right? That was a lot of me talking. How are you guys feeling? Use your emojis to show me how you felt about all of that. You thumbs up. Bit of a laugh. It's fine to have a laugh at me. A little bit of shock face. That's all right. All very valid feelings. So however you're feeling right now is all okay. But yeah, we're now going to jump into the two platforms that you are going to use throughout your diploma. So MyLearn, so that is the learning platform, and Microsoft Teams. So MyLearn is a learning management system which houses all of your subjects' content, the assessment briefs, any extra resources. It's where you go to watch the lecture recordings, and as well, it is the place that you will be submitting your assessments through. And then Microsoft Teams is where you will attend live classes, coaching calls. Some of your assessments will occur in Teams as well, those live role plays that I mentioned, and any of the virtual events that we offer through the Travel Academy, just like this one today. So for this next bit, I'm going to give you a few action items, a few checkpoints. So now is definitely the time to be taking notes. And if you would like to quickly log into your MyLearn, follow along and kind of play along while we go through the different sections, you're also more than welcome to. So jump in now. Well, I'm just chatting for a moment. And yeah, you guys should have had your MyLearn logins sent to your student email. If you haven't already received them, please do reach out to the Torrens student support team. And today, I'm not going to be able to show you absolutely everything in MyLearn. What I want to show you is just the key things that are important to get you to your first assessment, which is due at the end of week 3. So I do encourage you, yeah, to log in, play along, and hopefully it'll, all start to sink in for you. And Darren's already beaten me to it. Thank you, Darren, for popping those details for the students' services there if you are having any issues with accessing MyLearn for your own logins. So when you first log in, you will be on the dashboard and you will see a toolbar down the left-hand side. And in the middle, you will see the subjects that you are enrolled in. And then further down, there'll be some notifications. If you are enrolled full-time in semester 1, your screen should look like what we just had up above there, showing 4 subjects. So it is important to check that you have the tiles for all of your subjects that you are enrolled in. If it doesn't look right, if you've got an extra subject in there or not enough subjects or wrong subject name, reach out to our enrollments team ASAP. The contact details for our enrollments team in the chat as well for you guys there. So now let's work our way down that left-hand side toolbar. So there are all bits and pieces in here for you guys to have a play around with. The important ones to note are, first of all, the notifications and settings under the account option. In your settings, you can edit these to suit yourself. The one that we do recommend you do first is edit the time zones. So yeah, if you want to go settings, Darren, or is it taking a moment to load? Perfect. Yes, so you'll see you've got time zone under your name there, and you would click on edit settings to adjust this one. By default, it is going to be set to Sydney. Who can tell me why they think it's important to change the time zone to where you are located? Sophie.
Well, obviously different time zones, but because you guys are set mainly in Brisbane, for me, I'm in Perth, so my submission times are going to be earlier than what it would be in Brisbane for people living over there.
Perfect. Yeah, you're exactly right. So for yourself, if the assessment's due at like 11 p.m., then that's going to be 9 p.m. where you're located over in Perth. So yeah, you do want to be aware of exactly what time your assessments are due, and as well for the tutorials and Q&A sessions, you don't want to miss out because you have not got the right time setting there. So that should be definitely the first thing you want to update in your settings to edit there to make sure you don't miss out on any of the important things. And then
sorry to interrupt.
Susie. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
all
I'm
right.
trying to catch up. We're in settings. I'm in settings now, but can't find. Sorry, can you just show me that again?
Should be, you should have edit settings
Over
on
here.
the right-hand side.
The layout looks different on mine. Oh yeah, there we go. Sorry, found it. So, oh yeah, it's already set to Sydney. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and then just if you sort of type in the city, because they're all a bit of a funny
Well, it
way
said
that
Sydney. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks, Susie. Awesome. So yeah, then the next thing you should have a look at is notifications in that sort of second left menu there. And this is where you can adjust the notifications that you want to receive and how by clicking on each one, and you can sort of change them. So just be careful of turning them all off. There's some things that you want to keep on. You don't want to sort of miss the important notifications. So for me, I always keep on like the announcements. That way, if anything were to change, you'll know that you're not going to miss out on those ones there. And you can hover over the type of announcement if you're not sure what it means. Before you go turning them off, it'll give you a bit of a little descriptor. So back to our left-hand side menu. You've got dashboard, and then the next one you've got is subjects, which will list all of your subjects. Then you've got the calendar, which will show you your assessment dates and times. And these times will adjust when you do change your settings to your location if it is a different time zone. And later in the year, when we have daylight savings, that will also become important as well to have that time zone updated there. And then you've got the inbox, which is where your facilitators may reach out to you regarding specific assessments. There is a function in there to send messages through the inbox, but in terms of reaching our facilitation team, we actually ask that you use our email address, and we will have that up on the screen at the end of today's session, because the communal inbox that we use is monitored more frequently. Messages may get missed in that inbox in MyLearn if we were off for the day or anything like that. So we'll cover off on that email address later today as well. And then you've got down the bottoms the study assist, careers, and help, and we just encourage you to explore those ones on your own time. There are some extra resources in there that will help you with your studies. And finally, you can click on the T up the top at any time to take you back to the dashboard as well. So very quick rundown there. What questions do we have so far? Wonderful. So let's now have a look at a subject, and remembering that the subject setup is the same for all of your subjects that you're enrolled in. So we're going to look at succeeding in business, because everyone, whether you are full-time or part-time, will be doing succeeding in business. So once you click on the tile, you are taken to the overview page of the subject. And let's have a little work through this page. So on the left-hand side, you will see now another subject menu that appears. And in the middle is that subject overview and the important information. So the first step for each subject is to work through this information. So first is the subject introduction, which gives you the overview of the subject. And then as you scroll down, you will see the subject outline and subject planner, which gives you more details on the learning outcomes and your modules. And you can view them on the screen. You can expand them by clicking the arrows, or there is a download PDF option that will either live just above or just below the actual file there. So if you are the kind of person who wants to save them somewhere particular or print them off, you do have that option. If we then go to our new left-hand menu that we see, our second option there is announcements. So in this space, we will post important information to the class, such as if a tutorial time has been changed, if there are assessment changes or updates, and if there is any specific opening hours, that have changed during like public holidays. So that is the one that I recommended earlier. Do not turn your notifications off for announcement because you don't want to miss any important information. And what we then recommend that you guys do is to always go through and read your welcome announcement. And the welcome announcement will always be there, so you can refer back to it at any time. But as you read through, you will see a schedule of which module you should be up to each week. That's what we're just highlighting on the screen there. The workflow that I discussed with you earlier. So if you need to then refer back to, how you should be approaching each module, you can have a look at the workflow again. And then also the details of how to contact your facilitators. It's just towards the bottom there. Yep, and a few handy links, that student email address that I mentioned if you need to reach out to us, the text line that is always available to you. So now we are going to move into the actual modules. If you look at your schedule here on the screen, you will see that for module 1, it is over 2 weeks. So what that means is that by the end of week 2, you need to have completed module 1. And then can anyone tell me what date week 2 begins on? Yeah, Anaru.
The 11th?
Yeah, perfect. So this week is our week 1. We're in the start of the week was 4th of August. So next Monday is the 11th, which will be the start of our week 2. So by the end of next week is when you want to make sure you've had a watch of the lecture and then either attend or watch the tutorial as well and had a look at some of the resources. So, give me like, how do I do this? We've got our cameras on. Hopefully most of us have got our cameras on there. I would love either put your thumbs up for true or thumbs down for false for me if you think that every module for every subject is set up the same. Thumbs down. I'm seeing a bit of a mix, some thumbs up, some thumbs down. It is true. So every module is set up the same. So what we're going to go through now is going to be the same approach that you can use across each of your subjects. So as you come into the module, Darren has kindly opened up module 1 here for succeeding in business. On the introduction page, you will have an introduction and the learning outcomes. And then when you scroll down, there is the lecture recording. And this is the theory part of the modules. And so we recommend that you watch these prior to the tutorials so that you'll be ready to participate in activities in the tutorials. And then when you get to the bottom of the page, it's got a next button there. If you click on that next button, it will take you across to the resources tab. And you can see that resources tab up the top there, which you can also click through it that way. And you will want to have a look through those resources. And then when you get to the bottom of that page, you can click next again, and you'll get taken to the activities page, which will, link to some of the discussion forums as well if, there's a place to post for the activity. And then each module also has that live tutorial that I mentioned, and I will show you how to join the tutorials in just a few moments. And as the course is online, you can work through the module materials in your own time. So do refer to that subject outline and the welcome announcement that tells you which modules to work on in what weeks so that you know where you're up to. And if you get a bit lost as to what you've already looked at and where you're at, you can click on module progress up in that left-hand menu as well to see what content you've looked at. It will highlight green when you have interacted with the different content. We've got a couple of questions there. Susie, did you have a question?
Yeah, sorry. So my layout does not look the same as what you just showed me. I just did a shot of it, what it looks like in subject. Does that look about right? It looks different to yours.
You've clicked on, by the looks of it, you've clicked on subjects, so it's listed them differently. If you go back and click on your dashboard, you should see the subjects listed the same as I had earlier.
And then you would click into Succeeding in Business to get to these pages.
Oh, I see. Yep. Okay. So on dashboard. Okay.
And then,
okay, sorry, go ahead.
You're right. And then Eva, did we have a question there? Evie, sorry.
I obviously work shift work because I'm an emergency service worker as well. In regards to moving through the modules, is there anything stopping us from moving ahead in those modules?
No, you like, as I said, the lectures are already loaded up there for each of the modules. The resources are there. So those things you can definitely get ahead on. It would just be the live tutorials that, you know, you have to wait till the date that they occur for the recording to happen.
Do you need to have, like, are they necessity to be able to finish the assessments and all of that, those live tutorials? Or because obviously being on shift, I can't watch all of them when they come up. I'll have to watch them when I get home. But are they imperative to be able to finish some of these modules, or?
The live tutorials are where we do more of the practical side of things. So we will be applying what we've been learning in the lectures to how they apply to the assessments, how they apply to the real world and to the job outcomes that you'll be looking for. So it's best to catch up on them after after we've recorded them. If you can't attend them live, it will give you, sometimes it will get you to a position where you may have even done sort of a good chunk of the assessment if you do the activities in the class.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks for the question, though. Now I've just...
Sorry.
That's okay.
It's showing no subject. Just see that?
Still on a different page there. So you need to go click dashboard first, Susie.
I'm in the dashboard. And what was, then go up to subjects.
Okay, I'm just going to go back,
Okay,
Susie,
got it.
and just follow what
I got it. That's all good. Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome. So yeah, so as we were saying, yes, if you aren't sure what kind of which modules you've actually already looked at and gone through any of the resources, you can use that module progress option under announcements there to kind of just check what you've looked at so far. And yeah, it will turn green to show you what you've kind of interacted with in the modules. So yeah, once you have viewed your content, and then attended the live tutorial, the Q&A, or watched the recordings back, you can click on, sorry, said that wrong. Once you've viewed the content, you will then attend the live tutorial or Q&A is what I should be saying. And what you want to do to access that is click on online classes and chat down in that left-hand menu there. So under all classes, you will see then your future online classes. And I'll just wait a moment till we get that back up on the screen. Beautiful. So yes, so you'll have all classes, and as we can see on the screen at the moment, they're showing as upcoming. And once the tutorial has occurred, it will then change and say recorded. And there will then be a play button to click and view the recording in here. And then to actually join the recording, there are two ways to join a live session. So one is to join via MyLearn. On this same page, if we just scroll back up a tiny bit, it says upcoming classes there. And you will see your next class. It says the date and the time there. And at the time of the actual live session, that access session button will turn green, and you'll be able to click on that, and it will take you through to Microsoft Teams to join the class. When you click on that, you will be prompted to continue either in your browser or join via the Teams app. And remember, we recommend that you use the Teams app so that you have access to all of the features in Teams. If you use the web browser, sometimes you just can't see the chat going on in class or different things. So it's always best to use the app version. And the other way to join a live class is to join directly from the Microsoft Teams app. And I will show you guys this in just a little bit as well. But while we're still in MyLearn, the next thing for you guys to know is where to find the information on the first assessment. And for those studying SIB, that will be due at the end of week 3. So if you go to the assessments option, and then briefs and submissions is the button to click on. In this section, you can see your assessments and the due dates. And here you will find your assessment brief for assessment 1. So you want to click on assessment 1 there. And when you come into this next page, you will also find any additional resources that are required to complete your assessment. So make sure that you do read the assessment brief. This will give you details on what the assessment is, the instructions to follow, and the grading criteria. And then below the brief, as you scroll down on the actual page itself, you will then find the assessment overview video. And you'll want to have a watch of that, as that will explain the brief a little bit more for you. And then after you've had a watch of that, as you scroll down on that same page, you will then find the academic integrity policy. And it's really important to make sure you guys understand the integrity policy, particularly regarding the requirements for referencing and plagiarism within an academic assessment. Those concepts might be brand new to you. If it is, definitely have a read of it so you do really understand the university requirements. And we mentioned earlier that there is a self-plagiarism checking tool called Turnitin that you can check your work before submitting, and we will show you how to access that one in just a moment as well. And there is also some details around special considerations policies there. So what that means is we do have the ability to grant extensions for unforeseen circumstances, and they need to be submitted before the assessment due date. For some certain extension request, you may be required to provide documentation to support the extension request. So there's some more information around that there. So just have a bit of a read of those as well. And just kind of note, extensions are not granted for things like holidays. If you have a holiday when an assessment is due, you will need to submit it prior to leaving. Make sure you've got your time management in order there. And then the final piece in this section, this page on assessment 1, is how to submit your assessment, the very exciting part. It is as simple as drag and drop or upload your files and click on submit. So that little rocket ship there, you can click on that, or the button above, you can upload there. Make sure you sort of check that you've submitted the right file, that you haven't submitted a draft. And some of your files, some of your assessments will require 2 pieces to be uploaded. So make sure you upload them both before you hit submit. Once you've sort of put in the file that you want there, you have to click that little I agree button down the bottom left, and then you would click submit on the bottom right. So yeah, do check that you've loaded the right files before you hit submit, before the due date. And if for some reason you did accidentally submit the wrong file type, the system does allow you to pop in like a second submission there before the due date. And then for anyone who possibly has like a Mac computer, please just note that if you are working off Mac, files like Keynote or Pages do not work in the system for us. We can't open them. So do make sure that you convert those files to, you know, like PDF, Word, PowerPoint, those sorts of file types that we can accept, or MP4 video files. And just be aware, like the day after a due date, you may get a call from us after your assessment has been submitted. Please do respond, as if anything happens like that, we are more than likely just having trouble opening your file. Maybe you've accidentally submitted the wrong file, and we will reach out to you to try and give you that opportunity to resubmit. So, you know, keep an eye out for us and do respond. We're only trying to help you. We've got your best interests in our hearts. So before you submit any written assessments, you should always submit them to Turnitin to check for that self-plagiarism. So to access Turnitin, you will need to go back to the assessments and briefs tab outside of assessment 1. And it is under undated assignments, and it will then say Turnitin, self-check your assessment integrity. So when you come into here, it's very similar. You drop and drag your submission through there, hit submit assignment, give it a little bit of time. It will do a check, and if you sort of refresh that page, hopefully within 20 minutes or so, you should see a score up the top of the page, and you can sort of click on it to then see if it has flagged anything. If it gives you, it will give you sort of a score based on the originality of your work, and highlight if there's areas that need, you know, like a reference or something like that. And it will help you, you know, to go back to your work and potentially make it a little bit more original, and make sure you've got correct referencing in there. So facilitators do not see your submissions here. This is just for you to help you improve your work. The Travel Academy and Torrens take academic integrity very seriously. And if you need help with referencing or have any questions about academic integrity, please do reach out. We're more than happy to have a chat about it. And a handy hint with that one as well is that in Succeeding in Business in Module 2, it is all about academic writing and referencing. So if you want to sort of pop ahead and have a look at the lecture for that one, you can also do that already. So we are now going to move over to Microsoft Teams, and I'll hand over to Darren for this one.
Alrighty, just clicking on, just sharing the screen. All right, you should all see my screen now. Mine looks extra scary because I'm enrolled in every subject for every intake because I'm a facilitator. What you need to do is scroll down till you see this one. So this is 4th of August for SIB, which is should be the intake that you're all in. I think there are a couple of students who are on the Year 12 program, so yours will be for TTI, but they're all set up the same. So if we click on this one here, going into Teams for our first subject. All right, so within your subject team, you'll have a channel for each module and assessment. You might see if you have this hidden channels here, option under the modules. This means that not all of them are showing. Be mindful of this so you don't miss any modules. But to see what's under the hidden channels, we simply click here and then miraculously they all appear. So you can have a chat or ask questions between yourselves here in Teams. Again, our preferred method of communication with you is our student email or text. The Teams chats are not monitored, but you are more than welcome to a chat amongst yourselves. And this is where you can, so for, if we click on assessment channel number 1 here, this is where you can join the live Q&A sessions. So this one's for the 4th of August, and we can see that our first Q&A is here on Thursday, the 21st. So to join that session, you just click on join over here. All right, once this session has been run, the recording will sit just underneath there. Sometimes you might have to scroll up or down, but you will be able to see the recording there. And you can just hit play to watch the recording there. Also over here, we have bonus information. So if we click on bonus information, there are some useful files in here that Christy, your facilitator for SIB, has added in. So they're good resources for you to watch as well, just by clicking on those, a couple of videos and other things in there. All right, I'll stop sharing that one. And I'll just pop back. And just getting up to where we need to be. Alrighty, back to you, Kim.
Thank you, Darren. Beautiful. So hopefully we're still keeping up. We're not too overwhelmed. But here is a couple of extra resources to help you stay on top of your studies. So the first one is the Canvas app. If you are the kind of person who is always on the go, you can download the Canvas student app, and this gives you access to everything in MyLearn on your phone or your tablet. So you can listen to or watch the lectures or the tutorials while you're maybe like on the bus to work or the train, or you're out for a walk, you're taking the dog for a walk, or I know some of our students have even pop it on while they're at the gym and they're doing, 5K on the treadmill or something like that. It's really handy place to just be able to sort of with your modules and things like that, to find a bit of extra time to do it. You'll get little notifications on your phone if you've got them set up, and so when you download that, you would just log in with, again, your student login, and it will take you through. It's a great one to know as soon as your assessment feedback, your grades and feedback are released. You'll get those sorts of notifications, which is one of the things I love, so that I can go read my feedback straight away. And then there is also a tool called Studiosity, and they have like an assignment calculator. And the assignment calculator is a really great tool. It's super easy to use, and this will help you map out your assessments into some bite-sized chunks, which can be really helpful when you have have a few assessments due at the same time, particularly if you're someone studying full-time. I'd really recommend kind of plotting some things out. And when you sort of pop into the assignment calculator there, you put in like, you know, when you're going to start, when it's due, and it will kind of break down, you know, where you should be at with the task, what your kind of manageable bite-size chunks that you're going to take out of it to keep you on track. So that's a nice little extra tool there as well. And then some additional support for you guys. So in addition to the support provided by Flight Centre Travel Academy, Darren, I just want to thank you. Perfect. Yes, you also have access to the Torrens Student Hub. So do go in and explore that Student Hub in MyLearn. And we've just popped on the screen there as well the contact details for the Travel Academy. So remember that you can find those details in the welcome announcement that we had a look at earlier. And then make sure you also go in and check out the Travel Academy student portal, which we are always adding helpful tips and tricks and resources to. And that is where you'll find some of those details around your actual intake, your overview of your subjects and things like that, and the recordings as well. And Darren has kindly also put in the link in the chat here. If you ever need to book in for a coaching call, do maybe bookmark that link so you know where to find it as well. A great time to do it now. And we are nearly wrapped up for today. So what have we got next? So it is finally time for me to give you guys that code word for the week. So for today's session, our code word is discover. If you attended yesterday, you'll have that first code word, and the final word will be revealed to you in your program sessions, which should be on Thursday, I believe. Any last questions for today? Evie.
Yeah, sorry, my camera's not working. I can't see my own face. This is Mandy. So
Thanks,
I
Mandy.
asked about the timetable. I wasn't very clear. We were previously given a timetable on the dates and time, what time to start, which subject. Do we follow that, or we have to go inside the system to check?
Do you mean like in the welcome announcement with the weeks?
Yeah, we were before the all week. We were given a schedule for all the for a few months, the timetable, like which day to start which program. Do we follow that one, or we have to go to the welcome every time to check Wednesday?
Oh, so the that timetable with the like 4 different subjects on it?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's when the tutorials and the Q&As occur and when the due dates for the assessments are. So that kind of aligns with the what was in the welcome announcement where, you know, we said for module 1, it's across week 1 and 2. So the tutorial itself will occur in week 2 of that module. So you want to have a look at the lecture and then either attend the live tutorial when that occurs or watch it by the end of week 2.
Yeah, I got that. But I realized that some dates looks a bit different from the schedule. Just now I saw there's a August 18, there's something, but it's not appearing on the schedule. So I got a bit confused that the dates looked a bit different. But I'll try to match it again to see.
Yeah, so the tutorials itself won't show in like the welcome announcement schedule there. Those dates are what is in the different channels in Microsoft Teams when you go in and look at the different modules for the tutorials.
Okay, I'm just trying to plan ahead for the month and the next few months. So I thought if it would be good enough to look at the timetable to see that, okay, I block all this date and the rest of the dates I'm available, something like that.
Yeah, well, those tutorial times shouldn't change unless we have something strange sort of come up. Those tutorials, if you want to attend them live, what's on the timetable should be accurate.
Okay, so meanwhile, I can still use the schedule timetable that's given to us, yeah? All right, oh, good, thank you so much.
That's okay. And Evie, did you have a question there?
So on Thursday when we've got those other sections, are we able to attend more than one?
It should just be the one for your program specifically. Darren, would you have anything to add on that?
I think it is only for your particular program, but just one moment and I'll see if I can get clarification on that while we're all here together. Just give me one moment.
Any other questions just while we're waiting? Thankfully, Darren is just sitting next to our programs team, so he's just definitely run over to see if he can speak with someone directly. So we'll get an answer for you guys.
Okay, sorry to keep you all waiting there. For the question, can you attend more than one program session? Please go back and confirm with your program leader as to whether it's appropriate that you attend one of the other program sessions. If you're not sure who your program leader is, just let me know and I can look that up for you. So Mary Jane has asked which program you are in. One moment and I'll have a look to see what you have enrolled in.
Let Darren just look that one up. And while Darren's just doing that, I'll just address, what you guys can start on from here. So it is definitely a good idea to add your student schedule to your calendar. So like we were just sort of talking about, those tutorial times, you can add them to your own calendar and hopefully you can attend some of those live tutorials with us. Your student schedule is that overview of everything. So the tutorials, the Q&As and the assessment due dates. At the moment in the MyLearn calendar itself, it's realistically just going to only show you the assessments when they're due. So make sure you add the tutorials and Q&As to the calendar or your own calendar. And if you lose that email with the student schedule that was sent to you, you can find your student schedule in the O-Week wrap-up page. But just note with that one, each month when we, have a new intake come in, their schedule will be the one that will be placed at the top of the landing page. So just scroll through and down to find your intake date, which is the date you started. So yesterday, the 4th of August is your intake start date. And then, as I mentioned, download that Canvas app and get logged in. It's a really great tool to have to help you with your studies. And then start making a bit of a plan to tackle your assessments. Potentially go and use that assessment calculator, have a little play in there just to familiarize yourself. And don't forget your programs session on Thursday. So I would love to hear from some of you. What is the first thing you're going to do from here after today's session? Yeah, I know.
I'm going to download that Canvas app and I'm just
Love
going
it.
to play around with it.
Definitely familiarize yourself. It's you can't break these things, so it's great just to play around. Absolutely. No, Mandy, there's no sessions tomorrow, just Thursday. And Sophie's going to organise their calendar and assessment schedule. Great job. Love to hear it. If MyLearn is still feeling a bit scary, go in, click on the different tiles, play around, familiarise yourself, and get a bit comfortable with it. And rewatching the first lecture and downloading the Canvas app. Great. Love it. And just going through and checking everything. Oh, beautiful. Love those ideas there. And in terms of, I saw somebody ask the session on Thursday. I believe that will be recorded as well and sent out in Friday's wrap up. And Sock, did you have something to add in there?
Yes, just want to check with the books. I saw some online book in there. I do have a read, but I prefer paper book. Any possibility we can borrow books, like actual books, not the online one?
I don't know if the Torrens have proper libraries on the
Mm.
campus, but when you go into the e-library for Torrens, a
Yes.
lot of the articles or the books have like a
Yes.
downloadable option.
Yes, and only for
So
7 days. I did check it. You only
So you
have
could
it for 7 days. You
you
have to
potentially
read it
sort
very
of
fast.
print off a section of the ebook or something if
Okay.
if it resonates.
Yeah.
I'd probably do it that way.
Okay. No problem. Just checking. Maybe we have some physical book we can borrow, but okay.
No worries. And Lachlan, still having trouble finding the lectures. So when you go into, if we were talking about like succeeding in business, for example, you go into module 1, and on the introduction page, which is the page it should take you to under module 1, you should scroll down and it should be sort of either midway or towards the bottom of the page, and it should sort of say lecture 1.
I can share my screen and show you that
Yeah,
one now
thank you,
if you
Darren.
like. Just one moment. Okay, so we're in module 1 here for SIB. If we scroll down, here we have our lecture. So under the blue bar there that says lecture, and just click the white arrow there to play. And this is SIB module 1 lecture, and it's the same for every module, for every subject. It will all look the same.
Yeah, and I was just mentioning that Torrens e-library. You'll see in that left-hand menu as well there you've got that option that says library under additional. Do go in and have a look at that as well. That's where you can access ebooks and things like that can be related to the subject. Some of our own resources will sort of link through to there. Perfect. So that brings us to the end of today's session. So thank you guys so much for your attention today. I know there was a lot covered, so I hope you got some good notes out of it. And if not, as I mentioned, this session has been recorded, so you can watch it back, which will be sent out to you at the end of the week. There is another session this afternoon if you want to come along to it again. But yeah, you will receive the email on Friday to wrap everything up with the information about the useful sites that we talked about today. So yeah, don't stress too much if you miss some of those things there. It'll all be there for you to revisit. So that's all from our facilitation team this week. Thank you guys so much for your attendance, and hopefully I see you all at a tutorial soon.
Yep, sorry, just last question.
Yeah, no worries, Mandy.
Yeah, just Sockling was asking about the download the subjects. So do we go to every module itself to find the downloads? Where do we find the downloads?
The lectures, do you mean?
Yeah, the subjects. Where do we download the notes, the PDF, whatever is there into the file?
Yeah, so when you're in the module, you've got that introduction page, which is where you watch the lecture. And then the next tab along is the resources page. So that's where you'll find the related resources to that module. And then the last page was the activities page, where you, if you want to participate in some of the suggested activities there to help with your learning. So when you're in the resources there, you'll have
Just
things
showing
like
it with you on the screen
articles.
now.
Yes. Thank you. Some articles or the lecture slides from the lecture or some videos to watch. So that's what you would sort of go through.
So in the resources, that's where we download all the resources on the lecture program, the modules, the subject to study, to do whatever we need to do.
Yeah, so you don't necessarily have to download everything, but if you want to have a read of some of the articles or watch some of the videos, they're all just additional resources to help with your learning that go hand in hand with the lecture.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's all right. Alrighty, thanks everybody so much for your time today. That is a wrap on today. We'll hang around for another minute or two in case there was any last questions, but otherwise you're free to go.